Greetings, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to give us a big thumbs up, and share the broadcast. That way others will know that we're here. And for that, we say thank you so very much. Family, you all know that a major part of the destruction of the Black family has everything to do with economics. Why? Because when you look at criminal disparities, social justice disparities, health disparities, religious disparities, business disparities, educational disparities, all of it, in most cases, in 90% of the disparities that we find that we're dealing with, it has a direct or indirect economic connection to it. Yes. So our demand for reparation is shown and proven in no limit of time through statisticians and demographers that if the economics were proper and just, a lot of the situations we find ourselves in today would not exist. So this is another major reason why, the major reason really for me, I continue to demand reparations, because it affects so many areas of life. Yes. Well, with that being said, we continue to see the fallout of white privilege and white folks stealing a lot of the things that we learned that white folks invented. Some of the greatest inventions were actually invented by or inspired by Black Americans or Africans around the world. Yes, we talk about that often here and on other affiliate networks. Yes, well, this is important for us to explain, because white folks, you level up because you steal from us or you get ideas from us and then cut us out. When you all got credit for stuff legally, it's because you dominated the courts and stole patents. In a lot of cases, got patents and covered it legally so that Black folks could never get redressed economically. Yes. Well, a similar principle, somebody say principle, allegedly has occurred in this case. A resurfaced footage of a Black woman accusing Paula Deen of stealing her recipes over many years, and really serves as the impetus for Paula Deen's, excuse me. Look, I'm getting these white women mixed up. They all guilty. Talk Black to me. Paula White is the evangelical. Paula Deen is the cook baby. Talk Black to me, somebody. We know there's always some connections there, but I'm going to leave that Freudian slip alone. Family, I want you to watch this resurfaced footage that has been taking the internet by storm. Watch this.
I spoke with Dora Charles, a Black cook who for 20 years helped Paula run her kitchens. They were so close, Paula called Dora her soul sister. But now Dora Charles is telling a very different story about life with Paula Deen.
So did you two get along right away? Were you fast friends?
We hit off real good. She started calling us soul sisters.
Dora and I have been together for about 18 years.
Yes.
She is in charge of that kitchen at the Lady and Sons. If it's a southern dish, you better not put it out unless it passes this woman's tongue.
So you were working 7 days a week with her?
Yeah, 6 days.
Yeah.
I worked 6 days a week with her.
And so she started the First Lady and Son at 311 Congress.
311 Congress.
And you were her main cook in there, right?
Yes.
Did she talk to you about your partnership, about whether you'd come along with her as she got famous?
Yes. Mm-hmm. She said, stick with me one day. If I get rich, you get rich.
But it sounds like it just passed you by.
It just passed me by. You know, I'm not gonna run behind her and say, you promised me, where my half, where my part, you know. It wasn't all about that. Actually, all I was looking for was a good salary.
How much money were you making when she started her Food Network show?
I was just making $6.50.
$6.50 an hour?
Mm-hmm.
In a statement to the Times, Mrs. Dean's publicity team dismissed her claims. Her grievances, they said, are about money, not race. The statement describes her as, quote, an employee that despite over 20 years of generosity, feels that she still deserves yet even more financial support from Paula Deen.
I told her at times I didn't have enough money to buy my own medication. We were sitting across the table, long table, and she said, it didn't reach me. And she said, here's $100. Go buy your medicine.
All the stories that we've heard about her wanting a plantation wedding that had Black men dressed in suits, concerns about how she treated Black employees, whether or not she used racial slurs. Do you feel all this is true?
Yeah, she wanted General and I to dress like that as well.
At the wedding?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like Paula Deen is racist in that way?
I do.
Have you ever heard Paula Deen use the N-word?
I've heard her use the N-word.
Why are you coming forward now to tell your story?
Because they didn't give me what I deserve. They didn't give me nothing I deserve. Everything I got, I worked for it. Even my own co-workers think that I've been treated the best. They think I live in a mansion. And it's just time that everybody knows that Paula Deen don't treat me the way they think she treat me.
At the time of this interview, Mrs. Charles was still working for Mrs. Deen at the Lady & Sons, though the two don't speak anymore. She hasn't made other employment plans, but holds on to her dream of one day opening her own restaurant.
Okay, did you all see that? Yes, I believe that lady. Why do I believe her? Because some of you all may or may not know this. Let me just give you a little background. Paula Deen, this white woman, is currently, it says, involved in ongoing business ventures, including her family-style restaurants and cookbook sales. She's also known for a lawsuit and public controversy that occurred in 2013. She continues, it says here, to operate her Paula Deen family kitchen restaurants with locations across the United States. They said that she's active on certain platforms on social media, but in her past controversies, including in 2013, a lawsuit that accused her of using racial slurs in the workplace, which led to the cancellation of her cookery programs, publishing deals, endorsement contracts. Now, how many of you all know that white folks love them and their money and they love other white people? So if there wasn't something to this, I really don't believe that all of those different ventures that have a lot of white ownership or management control would have just cut her like that. So that must have been overwhelming evidence of that. But you heard the sister there say that she believes that Paula White is racist. She was scared to say it because at the time of the airing, my understanding was that she was actually still technically working for one of her companies. So she was slow to say yes, but she said yes. She talked about the fact that she wanted them babies still dressed up like they was at the plantation. Talk black to me, somebody. She acknowledged the fact that she used the N-word. And notice how hard that she said Paula White was when she said that she needed money for medicine, and Paula White threw her $100 and told her to go get the medicine. And the woman was making $6.50 an hour. That's slave wages, modern slave wages. How many of y'all know slave wasn't getting paid nothing? But because of inflation and stuff, $6.50 is minus modern day, so that is still nothing. I'm bringing this up. And of course, she spoke for herself about why she was talking about it, but justice is justice. And we're going to keep bringing this up because we're demanding what belongs to us. When you are a thief and you're a devil, we need to hear these stories. Y'all sitting here worshiping, glorifying this woman when she is credibly alleged to have stolen this lady's stuff. Now, I'm making sure I'm using the word alleged, but I do believe that lady. That's what I'm going to say. I believe her because white folks got a habit of doing stuff like this. Now, if you have seen any of my previous broadcasts over the years, I know y'all like Vicki. Vicki stay on the Vicki continues to draw connections to stuff she's taught over the years. Yes, I do. Now, a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, I think is when this book came out from this black associate professor entitled "They Were Her Property." Now, in this book, a few years ago, this is in the recent years that I've been talking about this because that's when the book came out. But the principle has been out there for a minute, but I certainly have been quoting for this book for the past couple, 2-3+ years. The reason why I do that is because in this book, she breaks down the fact that it was white women that were considered to be the most devastating, in some instances, slaveholders. She talks about their callousness. She talks about the fact that in some instances, based on, I think, 10 years worth of census documentation she went through in that particular region of the country that she went through those certain documentations, that stash of documents, about 40% of the slaveholders were white women. She went so far as to talk about that some of the testimonies that came from those that were enslaved said that it was a white woman that was really devilish, and she was the one that actually set up situations to where the other black enslaved men were supposed to violate, you all read through the lines, other black enslaved women. She said it was the white women that set that up. And in some instances, beloved, situations where the woman was violated by white men too. That's some crazy stuff. You should get that book. I have it also on audio, but I was reading from it, physically, excerpts digitally. But I also had that book on audio. So I need you all to understand that I wouldn't throw that. And she from the South too. And that little twang about her. And plus, when you look through some of the 2013 allegations. Number one, those companies cut her. So yes, I absolutely believe that she has this streak of racism in her. And I do believe that she just wasn't no genius like that with the cooking. Y'all don't even like to work. How many of y'all know I like to quote from that book about how white folks got so rich? Y'all didn't work hard. In many cases, you was hardly working. Y'all know I got to tell the truth and shame the devil. We're going to keep bringing this out, baby, because I just want my people to remain fired up, that we want to learn from these principles, and we want to keep our eye on the ball for economic reparations and financial redress and justice in every area where we were mistreated. Talk black to me. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to go to my website at VickiPlanet.com to check out my upcoming free webinar where I'm going to be exposing how the United States of America has been dabbling in black magic on its military bases. You don't want to miss that, baby. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to tell you why that's important and what you can do about it. Go to VickiPlanet.com to save your free seat. It's April 5th. VickiPlanet.com. Share the broadcast.